I'm sorry, I would like to call our special meeting to order at 5:50. Would everybody please stand for the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amber, would you please note all board members and admins present? And then, board, you have an agenda in front of you. Are there any changes? I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll support.
Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Next up, we have communications, public participants.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to business items for discussion. We have the K-RISA biennial election.
Yeah, so we just have to consider who we might send to Carissa to vote, and who will be their backup on that day, on the election day.
Yeah, what day is it again? I'm sorry.
June 2nd. It's on June 2nd.
Is there a time frame? June 2nd at 5 o'clock at the service center.
Any volunteers?
It's a Monday.
I know. It's a Monday. We have a cow that night.
that Monday too. None of you guys can come.
My last kid doesn't, I can, if I don't have to be there until 5:15, I can do it, but my last kid is at 5.
Okay. Well, we can appoint Dr. Newton to go.
Okay.
You guys all.
So we're going to reschedule?
And then I can be your backup.
You just
I'll
want
just
to
add it.
Oh, so you'll be back in time. Okay.
Okay, and then I can be your backup.
Thank you, ladies.
Okay, so moving on to business items for decision. Same topic. I would entertain a motion.
I will motion, wait. I'll motion, no.
This one. Yeah.
Last
Good
minute.
point.
Okay.
Yeah, blank and blank.
Yep. Motion- It just reads fine. Okay,
It
motion to
does.
approve the resolution to consider for adoption to appoint Dr. Lindsay Newton as the designated representative of this district to the electoral body for the K-RISA biennial election to be held June 2nd, 2025, and Jessica Eberstein as an alternate in the event the designated representative is unable to attend.
I'll support.
All right, roll call vote, please.
Shute,
Yes.
Will,
Yes.
Horsey,
Yes.
Eberstein,
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Communication, do we have any board comments? Superintendent comments?
Not at this time.
Okay, I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 5:53, and we will start our regular scheduled meeting at 6 o'clock.
So that was a fancy meeting that we just had to have, and then we will have our awesome fun meeting here at 6 o'clock once we can start that.
It's awkward. Just don't do it again.
Don't do it again.
Yeah.
I was so confused.
It's fair.
It's
It's fair.
I need to get
I know, right? I was cold when I was there.
I don't know where they keep them.
Once we get to the expenses or
Yes, I do.
I need a gavel. And he's like, I don't know where they keep them.
Like I stuffed them all last night.
Well, first of all, that's why I got those two. I was just trying to say, well, you know, I'm not doing anything.
That's our t-shirt.
I love
That
it.
was really fun because originally I had the Galesburg and then I got to the ramp in the middle and then I seen you.
Yeah,
But it's going to be. These are the gifts.
okay.
As well.
I'm just a minute.
Yes.
Okay.
This is what we need from you.
Just cue me up when it's time.
Well, 100%.
Of all things, I like the pen.
Oh, and we can assume you're doing.
Oh, I like the bookmark. That's cool.
Oh, that's the button.
So when did you decide on class?
I didn't say anything like that, but. But like these especially in a good way. I'm sure a lot of people want to be.
So.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Did you write it for nothing? Yeah. You know, I look back, I'm like, our class song. We did class songs. We do here too. Oh, okay, yeah. And then, you know, they play at graduation.
Yeah. Oh, no. That didn't age well.
Did not age well. They don't really think you can jump.
I'm sure.
There's one public with this color. Yeah, it's funny too, because Andrew's is one public with it. Theirs is one. Yeah, so that, I had bought these bags. That was part of things going on with business. Shut them all in the bag and all that.
You're like, I've never used this. I did buy your office. I had been by it. What's on the outside?
I have free very well.
Now there's not a generator, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, it would be like wonderful to be able to like do X-rays and do lower. So,
Well, yeah, you can get one of those.
well, this is coming outside of the back.
Sorry, I won't steal your seat. Just let it in there, but I'm saying.
Not for me, but never.
Oh, that was
Pretty amazing. That would be my goal. Eventually, someday.
Sorry, nobody's being like
Let me see your shirt.
Oh, yeah, they're questions.
Yes, I got you. Oh. I'm looking under Lindsay.
Exactly. They're old enough.
No,
Just throw it away when you're done.
It feels so weird not having somebody to stare at.
I know, I feel weird.
Yeah, are they funny?
No. You hear that?
Sarah's sick.
Sarah's sick.
Dave's not. Can't come to that here.
Parks in the parking lot. And you want to see.
Let's collectively check on that. Okay, I'll text them. Be like, Gary, did you make a call?
That's a lot of
Where did I miss that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make sure you made it home. Yes.
So I would like. I'm going to call our meeting to order at 6 p.m. and everyone please stand for the pledge.
Loud and prouder this time.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amber, would you please know all board members and admins present again? And then board, you have an agenda in front of you. Are there any changes? Okay, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll support.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Next up, we have the consent agenda. The approval of the minute meetings for our regular meeting, April 22nd, 2025, closed session, and regular meeting for April 21st, 2025. Approval of accounts payable in the amount of $2,391,923.34 for the month of April 2025. Approval of the treasurer's report dated April 30th, 2025 for the balance of $6,588,906.61. Then next up, we have the approval of new hires and retirements. I'll turn it over to you.
So we do not have any resignations or new hires. However, we do have 3 retirements. We have 2 paraprofessionals, Leslie Banghart and Tia Travis, and Stacy Ryder, a 5th grade teacher. So those are our retirements this year. We'll be celebrating them at our end of the year luncheon.
Awesome, thank you. Reports, we have community input, agenda items only.
Approve the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll support.
Roll call, please.
Horsey,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Severstein,
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. Now we can move on. Nothing for community input. Next up, we have celebrations, the Above and Beyond Awards.
So historically, GA has done the Above and Beyond Awards for just staff members. And this year we kind of paused on that, trying to figure out what we wanted the Above and Beyond Awards to look like. Our community just stepping up over the last year has really been noticeable. So we wanted to recognize our community members. And so is Mike in the room? Mike Needham? Hi Mike, how are you? Can you come on up here? Hi Mike, I'm Lindsay. Hi, good to meet you. So I had a community member reach out to me, and this is what she said. I'm going to pull it up for you real quick. I didn't have internet at home, so I had to print it. I know. Who has electricity in the room? Who doesn't? I'm with you. I'm with you, Tony. Sorry to hear, man. If you need to plug in your phone now, please do. Okay. So I was talking with a community member, Becky Narola, in my office one afternoon, just to touch base on how things are going, getting some feedback, getting perspective. And she mentioned how we should just honor our community members from the school into our community. And so, Mike, she mentioned you, and she told me how one day one of the buses was broke down or something wasn't right with it. So they were parked on the side of the road, and Mr. Mike came and pulled up and lended assistance and helped manage the kids, went out of his way to be a GA Ram family member. And we just want to honor you for that. And we are just so very blessed to be able to have you in our community. So thank you so much.
I never get tickets.
And he's also got a pin that he can wear here on his nice flannel. So
Why, thank you very much.
we appreciate you taking time to come and join us tonight.
Picture.
Thank you so
Can I
much.
get a picture of the two of you?
Thank you. Okay, and then our next community member is also happens to be a staff member, but we have who reads the Climax Crescent? If you don't, you need to find it and pick it up. It's pretty awesome. Bruce from the Climax Crescent reached out to me and highlighted a staff member of ours that has done a phenomenal job over the last handful of decades to honor our athletic departments and being able to just do more than what's just in our schools. And so he wrote a letter that Ms. Corsi is going to read. So Mr. Mike Woodard, can we have you come up because we've got some words to say about you. Give it up for Mike.
I'll get there. Yeah, I did it.
The last
Okay.
certificate I got, they also spelled my name wrong.
Oh no. So the letter says, Dear Dr. Newton, I want to pass along a letter commending the excellent work that is being performed daily by Galesburg-Augusta Athletic Director Mike Woodard. Ever since we started covering Galesburg-Augusta sports regularly in 1992, Mike has always assisted me when he was a coach with information I needed for our sports articles, as well in his position as athletic director. As a newspaper sports editor, I deeply appreciate how he forwards schedules and the names and contacts of GA coaches, weeks before each season begins. This assists me greatly for sports coverage preparation. Mike has me included on a mass email list, so I receive alerts when there are postponements, cancellations, and makeup dates for GA athletic events. He also keeps me updated about other school-related events I may want to cover for the newspaper. I have witnessed many times Mike putting in extra time and effort to support students. Earlier this year, Mike, Eastside Boxing Club owner and trainer Curtis Isaac, and the GA School District networked to allow Isaac the opportunity to put on an amateur boxing event at GA High School, aimed at supporting young people. Mike arrived at the school on a Saturday afternoon to let personnel from Eastside Boxing Club into the school to set up the boxing ring and chairs for the event later that night. The event did not get over until close to 11 p.m. Mike remained at the school until almost 1 a.m., while boxing organizers took down their equipment. I was also very impressed with the recent kind gesture Mike recommended. Climax Scots and Galesburg-Augusta play each other in the annual Cross River rivalry game in baseball and softball each year. This year, GA was scheduled to host the game. Because Climax Scots has had to play all of its home games at Bailey Park while Robert L. Weesey's Junior Field was being renovated as part of the bond project, the CS baseball team faced playing all of their games away from CS. However, when Mike Woodard learned there was a good possibility CS's newly renovated baseball field would be available by May 23rd, he suggested the Cross River rivalry game be played at CS instead of at GA, allowing the CS seniors on the baseball team to play their last home game on the new field. These are just a few examples how Mike Woodard goes above and beyond to help students. The GA School District is very fortunate to have Mr. Woodard as an employee and athletic director. Sincerely, Bruce Roll.
Mike, we thank you for going above and beyond always, and you too can have your fancy little pin. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't know where.
Thank you.
vote. Next up, we have the DREAM program presentation.
Hi, I'm Brenda Lantinga, and I teach kindergarten through 5th grade STEAM at the primary, and then of course 5th grade at the middle school. So the kids are mine from kindergarten all the way through the end of 5th grade. All right, so we're here to showcase our DREAM projects. Thank you. Yeah, I have a big loud voice, so I'm not really that worried about it. All right. So the kids have been working on these projects the entire second semester in some respect. So they began working on building model engines, these model engines. Some of the kiddos actually got to take one home. Actually, 2 kids from each classroom got to take home a build. They actually do work. The fan goes and the belt swirls. And the kids learned about the basic parts of an engine through this experience. They also got to experience the thrill of victory and the sadness of the defeat part, because we dropped so many little tiny screws on our floor that we couldn't find. And we dropped them into the oil pans, and we were putting things on backwards, and we would do quality checks to make sure before we went on to keep building, to make sure it was correct. So we also had to do a lot of unbuilding. And as they made their engines, they kept a list of all the different things that would go wrong. And that led to one of our DREAM projects that we'll be talking about in a moment. They also all 4 of my classes, almost 100 students, all 4 classes got to do a robot build and learn about AI, where they actually built a Lego robot that can move and go forward and backwards. And again, we had to do quality checks to make sure they were built correctly before we could move on every time, to make sure that everything was built correctly. Another activity that we got to do was learning about different types of alternative energies. So we got to do solar energy, wind energy, and water energy. They got to build with snap circuits using solar cells. They built little engines. They built little sound systems. They built things that made music. And then some of my groups got to pick a little activity to keep them from home using a solar cell. So some of them picked a solar airplane that they built themselves and got to take home. And it worked. That one worked with a battery, didn't the little airplane? And then they got to build solar cars that they could pick and take home. And I think the other one was a wind-powered car, right? So they got to keep those and take them home. And none of these experiences would be possible without our partnership with Eaton Cummins. The ECJV, the joint venture group at Eaton Cummins, provides us with the funding for all of these amazing experiences that we get to do with all of my classes. Actually, these are just highlights from 4th grade classes. But all of those activities funnel into this amazing DREAM project that we get to do. Again, it's a joint activity with the ECJV. So we partner with them. They kick off this program by going on a field trip, and they get to do a scavenger hunt of the whole building. They get to learn about what they do at Eaton Cummins, and we have lunch. And then Eaton presents our 4th graders with a real-world problem to solve. So each of our classes had a different question. We have 4 classrooms being represented today: Mrs. Dooley's class, Mr. Webb's class, Mrs. Nope's class, and Mrs. Meyer's class. And we just picked a group from each class to highlight something that they got to do with this project. So they are actually going to introduce to you what their problem is that they solved for, and what they feel would be the perfect way to solve the problem that you presented to us. And then they built a prototype. And the prototypes that they built were of their own creation, their own imagination, with very little help from me. They came up with these ideas and then built a model to represent their ideas. I'm very proud of them. They've done such a good job. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and start with Miss Dooley's group. Go ahead and grab your project, Miss Dooley's group. Good job. You guys want me to introduce your team name? Or no, you get to do it. You do it in your thing, right? Yes, you do your thing. Okay. So guys, you guys, it works, okay? Here, we'll go like this. So this group, I made a mistake. They are missing 2 members of their group tonight. I accidentally left their 2 projects in my classroom and brought the other 2 projects with us. I was supposed to bring all 4, but it got a little confusing. I'm actually managing about 30 projects right now. And so grabbing out the 5 that I was supposed to bring, it got a little confusing, right as we were getting ready to head out. So their board presents their question. It presents some solutions that they came up with. They drew some ideas for their prototypes, and then they came up with one main prototype and a way to represent their ideas to you. So they actually have a little presentation. You guys may go ahead.
Hello, I'm Logan and this is Ari. We will be filling in for Adrian and Olivia, and we are team Blue Dancing Dream Team from Galesburg-Augusta Primary School.
We will be representing the ECJV. We can attract good employees to their company. Can be solved.
We think that voting on different perks, community projects, traveling to different sites, and even a Lego day where you could practice with Legos would be the perfect solution. We created the following prototypes to show you our ideas.
We thought we could travel to different sites for fun and see good stuff.
I thought about voting on different perks like bringing your pet to work or popcorn day.
I thought we could do community projects like windmill.
I thought we could have a Lego day and practice Legos. And that is how we think you should solve the problem of how we could attract ECJV, good employees to ECJV.
I want to explain this because I thought this was such a amazing idea that they had. So together they brainstormed and they thought that wouldn't it be fun, because Eaton is a global company all over the world, and they thought that having an employee exchange partnership, all of these global locations, where an employee can work from Galesburg-Augusta, or they could go to Europe, or they could go and maybe spend a month and learn about how the ECJV or Eaton Commons works in those countries. I just was wowed by that idea. So I thought that was so great. Good job, guys. All right, our next group is going to be Mr. Webb's group. Ready? I'll have it. Let's put your Patrick right in front. Yes. This is just the brain work that went into the creation in front of you. Maybe. Here. Guys.
Hello, I'm Lexi, and this is
Peyton,
Brady,
Preston,
and we are Team CRMD from Galesburg-Augusta Primary School. We will be presenting our ideas how we can collect and use natural resources like rainwater, wind power, and solar power to lower the amount of energy used at Eden. Cummings that can be solved.
we think that you use the pond water to water the grass and put wind turbines at every Eden. You could also put water turbines to make electricity and put solar panels on your roof to create energy to power up your lights. Would be the perfect solution. We created the following prototypes to show you our ideas. Eaton should use the pond water to save water to water the grass.
Eaton should use wind turbines to make energy at every Eaton.
Every Eaton coming should have solar panels on their roof to
It's okay. What is something you can create with solar energy? Can't read already.
cut power and energy.
Ever or should have water turbines.
And that's how we think you could solve the problem of using natural resources to save energy at every ECGV.
There you go. So I'd like to point out, this is so cool. So they visited Eaton Commons, and so they tried to make a footprint of the actual building. They recreated the parking lot. They thought the wind turbines could go in the back. They have already a natural pond there, and that they could use a cleaning filtration system to run that water into the company and use it like for flushing toilets and for like washing the dishes and things like that. So really nice job. All right, Mrs. Noakes group is next. You can pick up the mic too. Okay, you're gonna put your project right in front of it, okay? Put your project right in front of it. There you go.
Just pull the mic right out of it.
Yeah, you can pull it right.
Hello, I'm Eve Colton. Piper. And we are team the team of the Daydreaming Tigers from Augusta Primary School. We are presenting. We will be presenting our ideas about how to fix an engine or transmission if it breaks down. We think that a machine that checks the engine transmission would be the perfect solution. We created the following prototypes to show you our ideas.
Hi, I'm Colton, and my robot friend goes in the engine. The transmission and takes pictures and scans if anything is wrong and goes back to the other machine and alerts it if something is wrong.
Hi, I'm Piper, and my machine tells you what went wrong with the springs, gears are loose, bells are loose. It tells you all what went wrong on the screen. Hi, I'm Eve, and I made a part of a machine that tells you if anything is wrong with the fluids It has little buttons that beep red if something is wrong with the oil, gas, or transmission.
I'm Gemma and I made my tool so that you don't understand like this and then you can type in questions and it'll answer them.
And that is how we think you should solve the problem of fixing broken engine and transmission.
All right, Miss Myers group. Ready? Go, you're ready. I'm harping. Put yours in. Yep. So we are the team. Say it.
We are team the Devies.
The W's. And you are.
I'm Christian,
I'm gonna do it or what we do?
and this is Mrs. Anthony.
I'm not really on his team. I'm just helping because he's here on his own. His other teammates are Dariana, Emmett, and Aubrey. And they will be presenting their ideas about how AI can be used in the workspace.
We think that a robot that has treads, a safety bunker, a clock, a vacuum, mini robots, and a built-in computer would be the perfect solution. We created the following prototypes to show you our idea.
All right. There's little mini robots on the side, which I do believe were Christian's idea. Yes. Will clean, tell time, and are on security alert at all times. The robot is also a computer, and it has a keypad so that it also cleans.
It can turn into a safety bunker. It can also store parts and scan/file work. And this is how we think you should solve the problem of adding AI into the workspace.
And those are our 4 classrooms. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. If anybody wants to leave, they can. We don't expect you to stay through the whole meeting, but you guys are also welcome to do that.
This is your chance to run. Enjoy that sunshine.
Yes, thank you.
Very good job, boys and girls.
How have you been?
Have a good night, hon. Thank you so much, Mike. I'm sorry we spelled your name wrong.
We'll get it fixed. Yeah, someone will fix that.
We'll get it fixed for you.
I go mail it to you? Oh, we'll drop it off. Okay, well, that's
We'll
great.
deliver if we need to. I like that.
Okay.
I'm so
Hey.
sorry.
If I hold it just right. Okay, next up we have Galesburg City Council, Tony Tifkin. Thank you for coming.
Even without power.
There you go, Tony, maybe. It's day number 4. Hey, that'll
I
work.
know. You guys got it rough from there.
Not much updates from the city. There is a special city council meeting that was just announced today for city cleanup after the tornado. It's only for the cleanup and how hopefully we can get regards. We did get a quote today from one individual. You guys may know him from around town and stuff. It's Eric Trombley. He has the manpower and the equipment to clean up everything. So he was supposed to be getting us a quote together to finish up all the cleanup. And my hope is that with Kalamazoo County making it a disaster area, they'll be able to pay for that instead of the city of Galesburg, because Josh Rains, who tirelessly has worked almost 24 hours since the tornado started, like round the clock. They've been responsible for about every 8 hours running generators to get water to our water tower so that everyone has water. I know this afternoon about 4:30, Josh put me on a call with Lisa McNeese, our city clerk, with Consumers Energy, because they're trying to figure out where to put priority, and we don't have energy because it powers our water and our sewer. And every place around that area that needs that power has power except there. So with that though, I mean, it seems like everyone in the neighborhood did well. There's a lot of kids, a lot of people that came and helped clean up the ball field so the kids could get back to baseball this week. Their field 4, if you're familiar with it, took the hardest hit out of any of them. But I know Eric was back there doing a lot of tree cleanup today to make it at least safe for the kids to be out there playing. I know myself, my wife, my kids, we all cleaned up field 1, so at least they could play on field 1. I hauled like 4 truckloads full of debris back to the dump just from field 1. Another parent, Ryan, I forget his last name, but he was out there with the chainsaw cutting it all up and then also loading his truck up. We were pretty busy with the tornado cleanup. We got lucky personally. We only had a limb, and now we had no power. Like a pretty big limb, but I mean, my wife's windshield got shattered. But our neighbor right next door got a tree on their house. So,
Everyone's safe.
Yeah, sounds like nobody got injured in it. I know it came really fast.
Super fast.
Yeah, like anyone that was heard it that night, it was super fast. Like my phone went off, and it went silent, and then just a loud wind noise, and we booked it to our basement. And within, I don't know, 90 seconds, it was pretty much done. Yeah. Then went outside and saw like everything. But as far as, I mean, it seems like coming together as a community. Everyone is saw a lot of people out helping, trying to get stuff cleared up. I mean, that was a big ordeal for our little town. Mm-hmm. But other than that, there hasn't been much with the city going on.
When's the special meeting?
It is Wednesday night at 6 p.m. They just announced it. I got the phone call this afternoon sometime from Mayor Marble. She had texted me, actually. She's like, oh, wait, you don't have power. I forgot. So she texted me seeing if I was available. But I happen to be on vacation this week. Wasn't how I wanted to start my vacation, but, doing tornado cleanup. But, hey, it is what it is. Everyone was safe. And, we lucked out as far as damage. There was probably about 5 houses that got quite a bit of damage, at least in that area. I'm not sure. It looked like behind Burgess, 36th Street, there's a huge wooded section. If any of you have seen that drone footage, that got a lot of tree damage. But thankfully, that was like just wooded area, it looks like.
By the canteen. Do you know?
No, further
Down, further.
between here and 36th Street. Yeah.
My brain just always goes here. So like, I'm sure there's like a way for people to like report in if they're struggling with something. But like, you know, we know that all our elderly and everybody are taken care of like that.
I have not heard that, but I know I did hear from Josh that one of our council members was going around trying to find people that didn't have the means to at least help clear up debris they needed picked up. That's what I was told.
I know a couple kids.
Yeah, I know one kid in particular, and then we found out after we got ours cleaned up that another one had told Mom, like, did you tell him I'd help him? But we were already done. But so it sounds like everyone's doing a lot better. You know, there's still a lot of construction going on. We still have not seen a single consumer's truck in our neighborhood.
I saw them on the corner.
They were there enough to raise the power line off of that was across Maple, the great big one on 36th Street, and we haven't seen them since. We still have power lines down in our neighborhood, trees down across roads.
Well, yeah, I drove back in there this morning.
Oh,
And I tried to go, I was trying to go into Ike Payne, but then I took a left, and there's still trees across
So you
the
went
street. So I
right
had to go
past my
back.
house?
Yeah.
The one that's
So you
across the
wanted
road there's still a power line in it, so Josh can't clear it.
Okay, I wondered. I didn't. When I saw it down, I was like, "That's probably there for a reason." I'm gonna just.
Yep, it's the only one that there's a actual full power line, I think, through still that they can't touch until consumers ensures there's no power to it. Although I did see a tree company coming through when I was coming here, so maybe that's a good sign. I don't.
Did you take the bus this morning?
No, I took them and dropped them off. Or actually, no, they did not. Mrs. Johansson brought them to school for us because we were out of town.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say it again.
I know families that did. If you have a question.
I just wanted feedback.
I saw the kids waiting in Harding's parking lot though.
Okay.
When I left, so there was at least 4 or 5 in Harding's parking lot that I saw.
We are gonna move it on that side of the tracks just so that we're taking that variable out. So it's gonna be on Beckwith and Norm's place.
You might want to, because I know Cynthia Rains, I was talking to her, she still is thinking that it's in Harding's parking lot in the morning and
Yeah,
Norm's
so
place
fix that stuff.
Norm's place in Beckwith in the afternoon. I said I think it's going to be Norm's place in Beckwith in the morning now too.
I wanted to be clear about the afternoon, and then tomorrow I'll be clear about
Okay.
just tomorrow what we're doing. So because it may change by the day. So.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you so much. Let us know Wednesday once you guys meet and figure out if there's anything that the school district can do to help support.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I saw your message yesterday. Appreciate you trying to get, like, it did make sense for the county to put disaster relief for Galesburg and Comstock.
Yeah, so we reached out to the DHS just to see if we could host it at the school or whatever, and she said if there's individual needs, let me know, but they weren't able to do it.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of puzzling, but hey.
Yeah. Well, at least they know now if and when we need future stuff that we're willing and able to host.
Yeah, we're just hoping that with Kalamazoo declaring a disaster area, maybe Galesburg will get more help from the county.
That's the hope.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
I see you guys have a turnout like we always get.
So next up we have the senior events update.
You got anything? We've got this week, we had decision day on Friday, but we didn't have school. So we are changing it to Wednesday, their last day, right before their clap out. And when they're doing their locker clean out, we're going to make them go down, do their decision day, fun stuff. And then we're going to go, they're going to come here to the library and get their senior t-shirts, right? And then shaving cream galore.
Then next week is senior drive in Sunset. And then there wasn't enough interest for baccalaureate, so that got axed.
So the senior drive is next week?
Yes, next Wednesday.
Next
And then the
Wednesday.
senior sunset. And then Friday, all the graduation stuff.
So Friday morning we go to the primary and the middle school in our gowns. First of all, we start off with the senior breakfast. So they just come on in, they bring all their stuff, get themselves settled. We give them an overview of the day. They go do the tour at the primary in the middle with their gowns on. They come back. We make them take their gowns off, and then we practice graduation for a good hour and a half, get the kinks out, and then graduation, they come back here for 6 o'clock. And Wednesday is their last day. That's all we do.
Crying from Wednesday to Friday.
Thank you.
I'll go right into the superintendent update. Okay. So I have a different. I haven't been printing this out for you guys, but I'll just continue to go over it. So we have a strategic plan. I can put this in my weekly update this week too. It's just an update. An update of the 4 goals that we had for this year, for year 2. I feel like I've gone over these consistently with you. This is an overview. I'm not going to go into super details, but you guys can see just some of the things that we've done. I think what we're very proud of this year is that the relationships that we've built with staff. The transparency, which is an overused term, but it's been our goal this year. Our evaluation process, we sat down in July with the GAEA, ourselves, and then our evaluator, Gail, lady that taught us how to do the evaluation stuff. And we came up with a plan of when we were going to evaluate, what that process looked like. And we have 2AT been on top of getting in classrooms and having mid-year reviews and doing all the things that we're supposed to be doing. So we're very proud of that. We've gotten good feedback back from the staff as to it's been a smooth process. We've continued, I think we're continuing to take that K-8 STEAM and career work up to the high school. We're working on how to do that continuing into next year with Workforce Wednesdays, but also with more STEAM stuff. So we're working on that and continued. And then we did a phenomenal job this year with our MyKIP and our FAME. So those are just 2 fancy words for how we do school improvement. And even reflecting this year, we're going to take our MyKIP and we're going to take our FAME process and we're going to put it into one because it is one. And we're going to just have one mode of how we do school improvement. So just very proud of that work. Budget. We are going to go, I have a couple things from K-RESA budget, but Philip went over the budget with the committee, the finance committee. I don't know if you have anything to share from that shoot, but we went over that. We're going to plan on going over that on the June 2nd meeting as well. There was pleasantly surprised by our spring count numbers. We are at 998. That does include virtual, so there's that funding offset there. But we have a plan for our virtual programming going forward. That I'm very hopeful will bring us a financial 10 students. So that's exciting. Safety, I just kept the same thing on there. We're in a standby with safety. It's the same thing. We're just doing what we've been doing. We are going to be updating our emergency action plan that the state requires by 2026, which we already have in place. It's just going to be new names and things like that. For the bond, I'm going to talk about it when we get into the agenda, so I'm going to skip it now. Staffing, Brandy Smith, so each year the GAEA nominates somebody from the district to be a partner in education, so they do a fancy dinner, and they did that last week, Wednesday, I believe it was, and Brandy Smith was our winner this year, so when you see her, please make sure that you note and congratulate her. We do have one staff member that we are going to be having a conversation about non-renewal with. I can get you more details off topic, but that just giving you that update. We have retirement, which you know of. We have the middle school behavior specialist position opening. We have a ton of applicants because Amber has been a rock star with getting things on Indeed, which we're learning people do that for unemployment. So we got to sift through those. But the good news is we're getting traction. So Amber's got her process, which for our hiring platform, another update on here is we are going to move over to Red Rover. We use that for our substitute platform anyway. It's very user friendly. We got 0 traction with the last 3-year contract that we signed that doesn't work for Power School. So we talked to 3 different companies over the last 3 weeks, and we're going to go with Red Rover.
Is that what they use before Power School anyway?
Frontline.
Oh,
We used
okay.
Frontline because that's what I wanted to go back to because that's what I knew that worked. And so we went and talked to them. It was very expensive. And through that conversation, we talked about Red Rover. So then we set up a conversation with Red Rover, talked to them, and I love that platform and all that it can do. If we actually utilize it what it has, we could do a lot of things with it. It does have hiring process down the road too. So evaluation tool for support staff. So I've heard a couple I haven't been evaluated in 3 years. I haven't been evaluated ever. Mm-hmm. And we've had some conversations about professionalism from just the support staff. We need to value, we need to validate, we need to provide feedback, we need to honor our support staff in that process of evaluation. So I'm going to send out the evaluation tool this spring and ask support staff to reflect on it, provide feedback to me, and let them know that we're going to roll that out in the fall with these are your expectations for the year. You'll do have a mid-year review, and then you'll have your end of the year evaluation. And it's around things just like professionalism. So quality of work, attendance, punctuality, reliability, communication skills, those types of things. So just so that we're all on the same page. Transportation, it's a 12% increase this coming year for our numbers. We did check with our competitors. It's still the lowest one, but I've mentioned a couple times we are still trying to figure out what our future looks like for busing and transportation. We are good to go. It's smooth for next year. We are green light with Auxilio. Just need to financially look at our numbers as it's a huge percentage of our budget. We are still waiting on Auxilio to figure out the bus purchase agreement. They've not given us their wire information to pay them, and they've not given us the titles yet. I made it very clear that we were expecting that. They had an issue with their bank. I'm trying to be a good partner right now because they were going to have to take a huge ding on taking those out. So it's like a 28% ding on them. So I don't want them to have to go under, right? Like we need them. So they were trying to transfer banks. But I told them, I said, I want you to know that we're backdating this. I'm not paying for any of those buses for leasing, and then this one's 36 on top of it.
Yeah.
He said, we'll take care of that. So I wrote that in writing already, so he's got that expectation.
Good.
Facilities, we're continuing to monitor the needs in district. I think we're all very aware based off of our infrastructure assessment, and then having Elite and our architect walk around and look at our facilities, coming up with a plan on what we need to do for potential bond work and or putting money aside for our capital projects. One of the things when Philip gets back from his kid's wedding, I really want to talk to him about how do we take some of our current contingency funds, if possible, to put away for our turf for the future. And if not, then what does that look like? What is that process? Well, we're going to need it in 10, 14 years, so might as well put it away now.
Can I ask a quick question? Did somebody scope out what damage the building got from the tornado too? Because I did notice stuff on the ground. So.
Yes, Mr. Frank Couch was here on Saturday walking around, and we had somebody on site today that was looking at the damage. We've actually had a couple windstorms that we haven't, not been huge damage, but Frank reports it every single time to make sure that we are getting those insurance claims taken care of. So, thanks. Athletic update, we are going to be in a partnership with Kalamazoo United for hockey. We have Blake, Jen Blake's son, Colton's going to be playing hockey for Kalamazoo United. So that is going to be, I'm informing you now, there's some fancy paperwork that's going to be filled out by Lori Norks that we will bring here, and we'll approve it and just be part of that partnership.
So how does that go? Like, could other kids, since we have that partnership now, could other students participate in that, or?
Yes, I think that they have to try out and make it and stuff. There's
yeah.
still that process, but yes, they have that option. So, which is very awesome to know that GA will have hockey in its future.
Yeah.
Okay, others. So I'll try to go quick with this, but seniors last day we already talked about. We're moving the walk to school event to the 22nd, which is what day? Thursday.
Yeah.
Walk to school.
Yeah.
Not walkathon. Walkathon's tomorrow. Graduation events we already talked about. We have our end of the year celebration. We're going to do it a little different this year. We need a big, different feel at the end of this school year. So we're going to actually rent out the venue in town, and we're going to have seating there, and we're going to have Chartwell's cater lunch over there, taco bar or whatever. And then we're going to just do a quick little celebration, honor our people, and then celebrate summer.
And that's on the last day.
That is on June 9th. It's a Monday. We're doing it that afternoon. And then they can have it Tuesday after if they're already checked out. I have some intentional dates on the calendar with each principal for summer planning for the next school year, so that we're mapping out the year, trying to get away from conflicts and whatnot. So that's exciting. That's coming up. For our senior trip, we had, I don't know, Laura, if you want to do a little update when we do the comments or whatever, but heard great things, heard the kids had a great time. I heard that whitewater rafting was the most fun thing that was out there, the best part. We are going to be doing some talking around just future planning. What is the role of the district? What's the role of the advisors as we go on? So I think we have a meeting in June that we're going to figure out that planning going forward. And then we have our big event, which I'm super nervous about, but also super excited, our ramping up event. We're going to bring all the kids to the track and have them ramp up into the next school year. I think our kindergarten teachers are the most fearful of that day, but I asked Sean's going to meet with them and just say, okay, what are your wonders and worries? And let's get those out of the way so we can actually enjoy the event. So.
Are you guys all able to come, do you know?
I'm on my day lately, but what day is it again? I'm sorry. You just said
Fifth at 10:30 a.m.
That probably shouldn't be a problem.
I have too many days off already because of all the senior stuff. So.
And then it's going to be the picnic, like the parent picnic afterwards. I'm not sure how that's going to look. We're going to keep it low key, but I will put an end time on it once I see and assess how fast we're getting through things. All right, that's my update. Sorry.
So I did get us amazing shirts for that day, so you all want to try to be there.
I can be there for
What time did it start? You said
10:30. 10:30. Can you move that up to 10? You're kidding. It'd be a lot better for Christy.
Just change the whole
Because I matter so
program.
much. No, I can be there 10:30 to 11.
I love the idea.
10:30 is arrival.
Can you write a letter to my daycare families just saying the importance of it being it?
Can't you bring them?
I was gonna say, like that'd be really special.
That's I gotta move on with kids. I have an infant and a 1-year-old. I'm gonna.
You might Sean.
You know what? Just
It's
put a stroller.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
You didn't get them.
I'm like kicking something here. That was okay. The Spring Institute update is me. So I went. It was at Mackinac Island. It was a really nice venue. Very cold. But the keynote speaker was about AI, and he showed us some different platforms for teachers and students. And my main takeaway from that, I talked to Lindsay about it a little bit, was basically like the longer you wait to have the conversation of what you're doing in the district, the farther behind you are. And then I went to a class on communicating effectively in difficult times. I bragged about our superintendent and like addressing stuff on Facebook. And then capital planning for our district, trying to make connections with the guy that taught that class and other people on their projects. I did run our timeline for the bond by him, and he said, yeah, it's very doable. We just need to see what our community, if they're like yays or nays. That's it. Then next up we have business items for decision. The K-RESA,
For discussion.
oh, I was like, dude, we already did this, but we didn't. Biennial election. Is there
We don't really need to discuss it again, probably, other than we're just sending me.
No, just sending you, and then the resolution that will, the second resolution, we just need to name the 2 candidates that you'll be voting for on behalf of the district. There's 2 seats open, but there's only 2 candidates.
Okay.
Easy enough.
So that's
Right.
easy.
Okay, so then we'll skip down to Charles, 2025-2026 renewal.
The general fund budget narrative and resolution 2. That's just,
sorry.
no, that's okay. Philip asked me to speak on it he's at his kid's wedding right now out in Oregon. So, the ISD, it's just part of the compliance. They bring it by 1,010 boards. It came by us earlier today at the superintendent group. So it comes in front of you. If you like it, it's good. If you don't like it, it still holds. So, it's just the K-RESA budget. So if there are any questions though, and you do review it and you want me to get answers to it, I can get those for you next week by Philip. If it's this week, I can get it from Scott Thompson at K-RESA.
I just saw K-RESA and thought it was the same stuff. So Charles,
yep.
renewal.
So we have to do a resolution for approval for that, and the fees increasing 3.1%, which is just regular inflation type. It goes towards management, things like that, not so much the pricing of the food, which was confusing to me, but that's what he told me. So yeah, just every year going through the charges.
Did they discuss the food and amounts and all those things like the high schoolers have concerns.
That really isn't part of that conversation. That'll be more when David and I meet this summer, and I'll just give him feedback as to, okay, do we know why we had less portions this year, or did we, having that reflection conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not at renewal time. Okay.
He's come to me and I said, I gotta wait till June, buddy. I gotta wait till June. So we'll talk in June.
Okay, the course offerings, Intro to Drone Technology and Flight. That seemed amazing when she came here and explained it to us. Does anybody have any questions?
And the information sent back was wonderful.
Yeah, we are having a hard time kids signing up for it, but we didn't want to let it go. So we want to get it approved so that way we could maybe do a fun Friday and do something like that. So that maybe even second semester we could put something into place and she would want
I know
to.
some grown men that would want to take it.
Who you get to sign up.
Or do it like in a
Kids will follow.
Those are so hard to drive.
They are.
Or fly or whatever.
We would learn that in that class.
Right. I'm afraid to touch ours. I'll crush it. Scope of bond and treasury timeline.
So myself and Frank had lunch with Tower Pinkster, Sean from Tower Pinkster last week. And we just kind of reflected a little bit on how mediation went. And then we had some conversation about future scope of things. And he thought, well, since a couple of the area school bonds didn't pass and they were getting new dates to go back to Treasury to see if we could get a date pushed back, I had two thoughts. I'm like, yeah, let's do it, whatever you guys need. And then the other thought, I talked to Phil Clark, our true lawyer. He's like, that's their job, Lindsay. Like, their job is to meet those timelines and to get the work done. So respectfully, we're going to just push our construction management and architects to get those numbers, that we know what needs to be done. There's nothing fancy here. It is easy work. So we're going to stick with the June 12th deadline, mostly too, because we need to be able to follow our board meeting dates. And in the summertime, I didn't want to try to have extra special meetings and things of that nature. So sticking with us being the service that we want, and they can do that work that we're paying for.
So what do we have to, what are we doing, or should we be doing now to engage the communities so that they know it's up there and we can see if we might be able to pass it?
Right now, what we need to do is we need to get the numbers from Jim and Sean, and then we need to have conversation of how we want to talk to our board about it, and then also talk to our community about what the possibilities are. I'm planning on Parchment did a little blurb in the newspaper, or somebody did a blurb on Parchment in the newspaper about their bond project, and reading it was very user friendly, and so I took a snapshot of that. I'd like to try to create what our numbers are in that and put that in our newsletter for June, and then maybe even take a snippet out of there and just say, hey, we're going to Treasury tomorrow. These are some of the things, and just kind of saying but Sean's supposed to be leading us in that too, so I just need to, once he gets his number stuff ready, then we can talk about how we engage.
So should we not be doing like community forums and stuff until after we vote to put it on the ballot?
Once we get approval from there, yes, correct. Yep. Trust me, I'm a 3-month out planner, and so this is eating me up to wait, but this is the process.
Gotcha.
So just a little bit more of a timeline. So June 12th is when we meet with Treasury. June 16th is our board meeting, and then July 21st is our other board meeting where it will come to you guys for approval process. And then August 12th, and fixing up of our PQ. And then August 12th, we got to get it to the clerk to put it on the ballot. So that's the timeline. It is here. Any questions with our conversation? I think we're very, very aware of the needs of the district. It's just going to be trying to share that message of what our priorities are and what they haven't been, and what they need to be, and how they are going to be going forward.
Full disclosure.
So yeah.
Okay, next up we have the MASB Diamond Anniversary Give Back Form.
So Amber is super on top of it, making sure that you guys are getting, or that the district's getting reimbursed for any classes that we've taken. So MASB sent out a $750 basically gift certificate, and so Amber's gone through, and any of the courses that we've taken, she's submitted for reimbursement. Am I right? Or
well, I've done that for MDE. This is their MASB 75th anniversary. So I think what happened is at the beginning of the year, they sent this form out to school districts, and you were supposed to determine how you wanted to spend this money. that wasn't done, so I had to go through transcripts to see what you've actually taken and what qualifies for that $750.
So you're going back to filing how
Yeah.
you file something.
So this is all the stuff above and beyond the classes that
Yes.
we took and got credit back.
Doing.
She went through and sorted all the ones that didn't get credit back.
And I think we're good. I just kind of wanted your eyes on it in case I missed anything, just have it backed up, in case something didn't qualify. With your Spring Institute ticket, Jessica, that qualifies for $250 reimbursement. And then Sarah went to the annual leadership conference and pre-conference, which is another $375 and another $200, which brings us up to $825. So we should qualify for
So-
the amount.
Leadership conference, was that the one in?
Yep, back in October.
Yeah, I went to that one too. I don't
You
know
went
if
to that
that.
one
Yeah.
too. It's only good
I
for
did
one
too.
ticket.
You only get
Yeah.
7.
Right.
But if you
Good to
did,
know.
that'd be great.
Thank you.
I did too, Amber.
You did too.
That was fun.
Thank you for paying attention and noticing.
What I did.
I appreciate that.
Oh,
I was like, what was fun?
I
that
guess
was,
the
I had
online
to talk to
ones, but
Laura.
I mean, I
I
don't
did her,
remember
or was
what
it
they
you?
It was Laura.
Laura,
You guys
Okay,
got
she got you.
yeah. We had to call him to do the thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Filter first.
Filter first.
So
All back
Frank
to
got the grant for, I believe it was $95,000 or $92,000 for fixing up our filter first stuff, which is a directive from the state. So we got bids. We had 2 bids. One came in for 90 plus thousand. The other came in for 55, I believe, $1,000. And so what we need to do is we've got our, I'm going to use the right word. Is it contract, Amber? Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've got our contract that we want to sign with Mall City, and we're kind of in a timeline. Before May 26th is how good this offer stands for. So because they're so significantly different, we kind of want to lock in with Mall City, but the advice given to us from Trune is to take the indemnity clause out and you can do a 50% down purchase order. So we're asking you guys to, I'll read exactly what Frank said. Requesting bond approval to contract with Mall City for the work under the condition that they provide the revised proposal, which is the 2 things I just mentioned. And then we're requesting to lock this in today so that we can get that fee as is and it doesn't increase for us.
Cool.
Any questions?
Communications. Tony, do you have anything?
No.
You're our only
Yeah.
person.
I see the crowd.
Okay. Next up we have closed session. I would entertain, we need to go meet in closed session under section H1H of the Open Meetings Act, MCL 15.2681H. For attorney-client privilege communication, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to go into a closed session under the 81H of the Open Meetings Act for attorney-client privilege information.
To consider a letter from its attorney dated.
Yeah.
May 14th.
Consider a letter from its attorney dated May 14, 2025, as the letter is exempt from disclosure under state law due to the attorney-client privilege.
You're good. All as well.
Yeah, I second it.
I'll support.
Alright, roll call vote please.
Corsi,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 4-0. We'll go into closed session in one. Election resolution designated district electoral body, representation and first ballot candidate choice.
Who are we picking? Where's our people that we have to pick from?
It's David Webster or James Devers.
Is one
And
from
James
Comstock?
Devers.
So is one need a priority over other or just go boom?
There's only 2 seats and 2
They're the same
candidates.
seat? And they're the same seat?
No, they're 2 separate seats.
Same role?
Trustees.
Yes, that's what I'm wondering. Like one's not a vice president versus
No.
the thing we're trying to.
Good. Sweet. Right now.
Oh,
That was very. We already did this one.
We did, in the special meeting, we did
Yeah.
just the,
You guys,
yeah.
but that was, yeah.
So I would entertain a motion.
I don't have their names.
Here, read mine.
It's gonna be a long side. Okay, I'll be happy to knock out real quick. Thank you so much. Motion to approve the designation of, oh wait.
I know, we already did that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Motion to approve the designation of Lindsay Newton as representative of this board to the electoral body, which body will elect 2 candidates to the vacancies on the ISD board on Monday, June 2nd, 2025, and Jessica Eberstein as an alternate in the event the designated representative is unable to attend. The designated and alternate are further directed to cast a vote on at least the first ballot on behalf of this board for David Webster and James Devers.
I'll support.
Thanks.
I'm
tired.
Roll call vote, please.
Shoot. Yes. Wilkes.
Yes.
Horsey.
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. Next up, we have the King's 2025-2026 General Fund Budget Resolution. I would entertain a motion.
Motion, I support. I'm recommending the motion to the ISD General Education Fund budget for the 2025-2026 school year to be supported for the reasons of
Reasons is just if you disapprove.
okay, thank you. And that the secretary is hereby directed to submit a copy of this resolution to the Secretary of ISD Board of Education.
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote, please. Oh, thank you.
Coursey,
Yes.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 4-0. The approval of Chartwell's 2025-2026 renewal. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the renewal of Chartwell's contract for the 2025-2026 school year. I'll support.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Coursey,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Next up, we have the adoption of the Intro to Drone Technology and Flight class.
Motion to approve the new high school course Intro to Drone Technology and Flight as presented.
I'll support.
Roll call vote, please.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Shoup,
Yes.
Coursey,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Mediation, settlement agreement, and mutual release. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that the board approve the settlement agreement and mutual release as presented in relation to the construction dispute with Long Ferry.
Support.
Any further discussion?
No.
Roll call vote, please.
Shoup,
Yes.
Coursey,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Begrudgingly, yes.
Eberstein.
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. Filter First Mall City Mechanical. I would entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve the $55,289 contract with Mall City Mechanical under the condition that they provide a revised proposal accepting a purchase order in lieu of 50% down and remove the indemnity clause.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Shoup,
Yes.
Coursey,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes.
Who's here?
Motion carries 4-0. Next up, we have closed session to go into the superintendent mid-year evaluation and negotiations. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session under section 8A and 8C of the Open Meetings Act for the purpose of superintendent evaluation and negotiations discussion. I'll support.
Roll call vote, please.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Coursey,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. We'll enter into closed session at 7:15.